Hi everyone, so today we're going to be talking about ratios. So how can we use ratios to our benefit? Well, it can help us make good decisions and of course save money. So one of the things that we normally see is that we have to bring something to a classroom potluck. So in this case, for our example, we are going to offer to bring in some cookies for the classroom. And so in this particular classroom, you have a class of 20 people with the teacher. So in total, you have 21 people in the class. You're thinking each person will want to have one or two, well, between 2 and 3 cookies. So each person of the class will have either 2 or 3 cookies. So you have a ratio of 1 person per 2 or 3 cookies. So if you have 21 people and you have a ratio of 2 to 1, then you have 21 times 2 equals 42 cookies that you will need. However, if you have a ratio of 3 to 1, then you'll have 21 times 3 equals 63 cookies. So, given that you want to have more cookies than what you think you'll need, then you decide to go for the ratio of 3 to 1. So in this case, you selected this 3 to 1 ratio. So you went online and you were like, well, the next decision I need to make is, should I buy cookies at the grocery store? Or should I find a recipe for cookies online and just purchase the ingredients at the grocery store and of course bake at home? So you went online and you noticed that you found a box of 32 cookies, and these cookies were worth a total of $11.94. So rounding it up, if you wanted more than 63 cookies, then you would need to buy 2 of these boxes and you would have a total of 64 cookies. So 1 cookie to spare. So in total, you would need roughly $23.88. So that's your total for those 2 boxes from the grocery store. Now you decide to go online and you find a recipe online. And you also look at the same grocery store to see how much it would cost to actually make those cookies at home. So you found this recipe where you needed 4 eggs, 1.5 cups of white sugar, brown sugar, half a cup of Crisco, a 1/4 cup of butter, 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 3.5 cups of flour, and 3 cups of semi-sweet chocolate. So when you looked at it, you notice that it would cost you, just to buy all the ingredients, $29.42. And this recipe would only allow you to make 32 cookies. So if you decided to bake at home, it would cost in total $58.84 to bake at home, since you would need to make 2 batches. So what you decided to do is you decided to just buy the 2 boxes of cookies at the grocery store and save in the process a total of $58.84 minus $23.88, which would equal $34.96. So if you stuck around for this video thus far, you get 1 gold star. So after going to the class and giving them 2 boxes of baked goods, you decided to actually invite some friends over to your house and this time around bake. So you took that online recipe and just decided to, make it at home. However, you just had a curiosity of what was healthier, whether the cookies you took to the class or the cookies you were going to bake and provide for your friends. So, given that you were going to invite 3 people over, it was going to be a total of 4 people, including yourself, and you knew that this batch normally could make up to 32 cookies. But you were wondering, if I'm going to be making this recipe, how much sugar is there in there? So just to give you an idea, we have a conversion rate here where 1 egg is equal to 63 grams, 1 cup of brown or white sugar is equal to 200 grams, 1 cup of Crisco is equal to 192 grams, 1 cup of butter is equal to 227 grams, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract is equal to 13 grams, 1 tablespoon of baking soda is equal to 8.5 grams, 1 tablespoon of salt is equal to 17.99 grams, 1 cup of flour is equal to 125 grams, and 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips is equal to 170 grams. So you start off, well, let's see if I make bigger cookies and less cookies, what would happen? So each cookie would weigh a little bit more, and you would need a whole lot more sugar per cookie. So if you were just eating one of these cookies, one of these packets of sugar that you normally use for coffee or tea or what have you, is approximately 2.83 grams of sugar. So the less amount of cookies you make, the larger and heavier they are, but also the more sugar they pack. So in this case, as you make more cookies out of this batch, they'll be lighter and have less sugar. So if we went with those 32 that you originally went with, they would be about the same as the grocery store cookies, and they would have a total of 18.76 grams of sugar, which would be the equivalent of 6.63 packs of sugar, of this premium pure cane sugar. So you decide to maybe make a little bit more. However, these are smaller, weigh less, have less sugar, but the people might be eating more because they're smaller. So at the end of the day, you might be eating more sugar than what you think. So in this case, we had two constraints. So constraints are, you're under the assumption that individuals will probably have less than 200 grams worth of cookie weight. And so also each person will at least have more than 2 cookies. So as we make less cookies, let's say we make 12, each person will eat 1, but they'll be jumbo cookies. And so we don't meet that second constraint. So we have to make more. And here's where we break even. Because if we make more than 20, we already meet that second constraint. So it has to be more than 2 cookies per person. It's a sizable cookie, and it comes packed with sugar. So if we keep making more, let's say the original 32, each person will have those 200 grams of cookie, and they'll also have more than 2 cookies, so we do meet both constraints. However, the sugar does come down a little bit, but let's see what would happen if we compare our baked goods from the online recipe we found in comparison to the grocery store cookies. So if you look at the grocery store cookie nutritional facts, each cookie comes with 11 grams of sugar, 10 grams of sugar, 11 grams of sugar, and 10 grams of sugar for the white chocolate macadamia nut cookies, turtle brownie cookies, oatmeal raisin cookies, and the chocolate chunk cookies. Meanwhile, our chocolate chip cookies, with those same 32 cookies, come with 18.76 grams. So it looks like it might be actually healthier to purchase that grocery store cookie, and also it might be savings you see long term in your wallet. So hope you enjoyed the video. I guess I'll see you in the next one.